everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to whatever day this is. Today I've got some gruesome, grisly versions of nursery rhymes, so enjoy. Little Jack Horner sat in the corner, eating his cannibal pie. He put in his thumb and pulled out a tongue, then a nose and a cheek and an eye. The making of it had taken some time, but Jack was patient and neat. He'd waited all day for the thug of a boy who lived at the end of the street. A crash of his skull and a drag on his neck, and before you'd have known 'twas done. Then cut him up fine, and a good pastry lid, with a glaze that shines like the sun. For little Jack Horner, who sits in his corner, is a killer that's best left alone. Don't shout out rude names, nor tease, nor cajole, when you're making your own way back home. Just be quite polite, maybe say how d'ye do, or give him a wave passing by. For if you are rude, he'll serve cold revenge, and you'll be the meat in his pie. Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, poking the knife into Kay, when along came a copper who tried hard to stop her, and Miss Muffet was taken away. Now the poor little miss gives her mother a kiss as she's led up the steps to the rope, and her rhyme won't be sung when Miss Muffet is hung, and her mother is left without hope. Little Bo Peep has got no feet, nor legs all the way to her knees, for she fell fast asleep in a common so sweet, with flowers and the buzzing of bees. But she slept for too long, and was soon in a throng of carnivorous sheep milling round. They sprang their attack, and Bo Peep was too slack to get up from her bed on the ground. The sheep and their lambs had considered their plans, and they knew that Bo Peep could not brook a woolly onslaught in the manner they fought, but they had to watch out for her crook. So for them to be winners, and have Bo Peep dinners, the sheep called for help, 'cause they could. Disguised in a fleece, Mr. Wolf wouldn't cease till he'd munched up that crook made of wood. Then he sauntered away, left the sheep to their play, and pondered poor Bo's awful plight, as he lay himself down in his fleecy night-gown, counting sheep, killing Peep in the night. Old King Cole was a merry old soul, and a merry old soul was he, for his liver was shot, and abstain he could not from the finest of wine and whisky. And when he would ask for another small glass, his servants would rush here and there, and if not fast enough, then their treatment was rough, for the old sozzled king wasn't fair. And the darling old queen thought he was quite mean, always calling for this and for that. She'd had quite enough, and was in quite the huff as she lifted an old cricket bat. And when her dear hubby, all red, fat and chubby, demanded a pipe and a bowl, she lifted the bat, and with one mighty crack brought an end to the reign of old Cole. Now she spends every day making merry and play, and her subjects all queue up to see old widowed Queen Cole, the new diva of soul, and her band, the fiddlers three. Last one. Georgie Porgy, Pudding and Pie killed 14 boys in the blink of an eye, but when the girls came out to play, it was Georgie Porgy that passed away. For he picked on young Nancy as she took his fancy, but our Nance wasn't as she appeared. She was a marine, in battle she'd been, and her skills in a fight were much feared. When Georgie said, "Hi, now you're going to die," as he slipped his hand under her skirt, she bit off his ear and yelped, and he yelped in fear when she told him, "Hold still, this'll hurt." With a hand round his throat, and him starting to choke, she drew from its sheath a thin knife, and thrusting it into his brain through his chin, Georgie sighed at the loss of his life. For the dark hand of death came with a cold breath, and sounded the toll of a bell. Then the chill was no more. Georgie quaked to his core when he burnt in the hot fires of hell. Still now, to this day, Georgie's burning away, and Satan delights in the scene. And the moral is clear: bad men shouldn't go near any girl who has been a marine. The end. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and press the wee bell notification. And a huge big thank you to all my subscribers, patrons and members. See you next week. Bye bye.